Okay, the next, shift the gear from neutral to second. Why does it keep going straight to second? Like,
This guy doesn't know first gear.
hello there, I am Ash Mannix, and I'm with my extremely patient co-host, Kuxel.
Yes, I've had to be patient recently.
Ah, yes, though that's not to say that I haven't had to be patient as well. So, my PC, like we've been talking about this, me and Kuxel. My PC's hard drive died, the one that has the operating system on it. Took away, so luckily my Steam games were saved on a separate hard drive, but for some reason, one of the games that I've been playing with Kuxel, the Silver Case, the save files were stored on the C drive instead of on the drive where the game is stored, which is stupid. I don't know why I wasn't just saved in the same place as the game. But that's gone, and I had to totally. I mean, I lost everything on that drive as well, an SSD. So that wasn't great. And I've had to spend I think during the weekend, I had to reinstall Windows, get a new SSD. I got an M2 drive and an SSD and another hard drive just for backups. And I had to reinstall Windows, set everything up, OBS, Discord, Steam, games, Audacity, Blender, everything. At least,
Works.
yeah, everything at least for what I do just now. I can't even remember half the stuff I had on my computer that I might use sometime in the future. But that has made me very sad and very angry. But things could be worse. I've now got backups set up. I'm using this thing called Ease US, I think it's called. Backups.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it's free, and I've just got that set to like every day do a backup. So I had it initially, and then I stopped using it because it took up loads of space on the hard drive. Obviously, it was just taking an image of the C drive. At least I had set it that way, because that's what I really wanted. But now that I've got a 4 terabyte hard drive as my backup one, and the M2 drive I'm now using for the operating systems on a 1 terabyte hard drive, should be good. And it's programmed so that it will only save as much as the hard drive needs, and I don't know if it stops or if it just overwrites or whatever. I'll look into it. But here we are. Oh, I never did I tell you that I got? Yeah, I did. I messaged you yesterday. I did. I wanted to do an little animation thing for the ending, where we show the ending cards for the playthrough of these videos. Did I? So I posted it up, the actual little video. It's just like 20 seconds. It's a repeat animation. It's nothing special. But I did it in Blender, and it was extremely painful and tedious to get my head around things. But it was satisfying at the end, and I've got it up on my alternative channel, Ashmanic Straws. Plug, a shameless plug. And I plan, well, one of the reasons why I was a bit more motivated to do carry on Narcissu, on top of the fact that I still have the save files, because it's cloud save or something on Steam. Thank you, Steam. Was because I'd finished that little animation. I'd been wanting to do it for like a week or two. I think I'd talked to you about it like a week or two ago.
You had, yeah.
And I was like, I really want to do this because it'd be cool. Because I tried to do something a little bit different. I did that for Needy Streamer Overload, where I just had the custom drawing. So in the intro, I have my face that comes up, my logo. So I changed it a bit to have like a streamer, me looking a bit like a Needy Streamer. And then at the end, I had myself looking like Needy Streamer in a pose from the game, saying goodbye or see you again or something, which was fun. So I decided to up the ante this time and try and do an animation, but it took me ages to get around to doing it. But I've done it. So I'm going to hopefully have it at the end of this video. So that's incentive, if anyone's still watching this, to watch till the end of the video. But yeah, shall we get into things?
Absolutely.
Cool. We are definitely recording. Yes. I'm going to switch off the avatars, and we're going to go in naked. And we'll go to chapter 6, Echo. That lovely silver coupe engine.
Hmm.
Wait, is this like...
Wait, why is it reading
What?
so quickly?
Yeah, what what is going on here?
You didn't put on auto mode or something, did you?
I don't...
Not even a minute into it and we've already fucked up.
Font settings. Oh, okay, I can choose font. Speed settings. Text speed a little bit slower. I think maybe because I hadn't clicked onto the window, it was for... There's an auto speed.
Yeah,
Okay.
auto means when it's doing it by itself. If you leave it on auto for it to just go through the text by itself. Like visual novels have that.
I get that. But how do you set auto? It just...
I don't know. It's
It
usually
doesn't-
a key button
yeah,
or something, isn't it?
Is it? I mean, there's... Alright, okay, it stopped then. Fuck. Great start. Great start. Shit, man. I don't even know how to go. I don't think you can go back in this. Or maybe you can, but it's like a hidden key. Oh well. Say. Wait, where were we? We were on a journey. We'd stopped off to get some new clothes and stuff. We also realised that Satsumi... Setsuna? Setsumi actually had...
That's the second time you've called her Setsuna.
Setsuna F. Seiye.
Oh,
I don't... That's that name stuck in my head. But like... she'd actually had money that she had saved up.
Yeah.
She didn't tell us about, so we were able to get fuel. Super frustrating that she never told us that before we went to try and steal from a pachinko parlor. But anyway, got some clothes and we have a focus now. We're going to go to this land where the daffodils grow, this specific type of daffodil that she's enamored by. So yeah, let's get into this. I've said this about 5 times. Stay. You want to take a break next? Move the mouse away actually as well. What's wrong?
ちょっと疲れたみたい。
I see. It wasn't too surprising. Just before, she had been so excited, and originally we were even more sick than ordinary sick people, so it was probably natural. Well, I'll go buy something. Oh, look at that 90s interior.
I love it.
So, I tried to draw this on my iPad, but I did it, I mean, it's nothing like this and looks terrible, but I tried to do it in that, not like old style, I tried to make it look not so clean and almost like painted, like the old kind of drawings you got, like these in visual novels, and it was so hard. I got to the point, see when it got to colouring and shading, I just gave up and just did the most basic shading. I think I've used like one colour throughout the whole drawing, and I just fired it onto Instagram and left it. I was going to originally use that in the animation I wanted to do, but I had this idea and then it was like, no, this took me too long and it's too hard. I give up. So I did look at this specific drawing quite a bit, and it's like, man, this definitely takes me. It's proper. I don't know, is it all Japanese cars? Just cars in general? I feel it's Japanese cars that just had this feel to them from the 90s and maybe the early 2000s. Good memories.
They do. There is a certain quality about Japanese cars from that time period. Not always a positive, to be honest, but they do have that feel about them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it was a great thing. I'm just saying it just gives me nostalgia, and it's like a nice nostalgia. I mean, I don't think... Yeah, just good times, man, in my Monda. Alright, I'll go quickly buy something. Door slams. Rushing over to a nearby shop, I bought things that weren't much different from what I would buy at a convenience store. Here, a Pocari and rice ball, that and also fries. What type of combination of food is that?
Fries and a rice ball, was it?
So a Pocari, I'm assuming a Pocari Sweat bottle of water,
right, yeah.
right? A rice ball and some fries. That just feels so
Yeah.
Weird.
It is a bit odd.
Those were the words she replied with, but she just took them and didn't move to eat. Even though normally she would have started eating the fries first. You alright? Could it be that you're starting to feel bad?
薬が切れただけだから。
Well, that's not good.
Oh no.
That's not good at all.
I mean, how long have they been traveling for? I feel like it's not been that long.
A few days, I think.
I thought she might have had enough medicine for maybe a week or two. I suppose that's just wishful thinking.
I mean, you don't know how long they give you like prescriptions for. Like sometimes they just give you a few tablets, innit?
Yeah, I mean, especially if she's at a hospital, they're not going to load you up with enough medicine to last you into the winter or something.
Hmm.
I see. Her medicine ran out. That was something I'd feared. Well, no, it was something that could easily be imagined from the moment we left the hospital. Of course, I hadn't forgotten about it on purpose. Up until now, I hadn't even thought about it. More than that, I didn't even have the sense to think about it. Since when? When did your medicine run out?
昨日の夜。
Then it's almost been an entire day. In my case, I had been told by the doctors that 2 days without taking any was my limit. Most likely, it was similar in her case. I've got a feeling that she's maybe worse than him. Is she not further on in her condition?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not even sure if they have the same.
Oh
condition,
my god,
but-
I've just realised something really bad.
What's that?
I don't have you being recorded on when I've got the no avatar thing. I am going
No,
to...
don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Oh, you're recording yourself anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So don't worry about it. It's fine. Carry on. It just means you have no backup.
Let me just think of... Let me just sit here and... it's not... One second, I can... while I'm at... And... Well, just input... It's not too hard. I've got you set as Discord anyway, and I can have you in here. I don't know actually if it will be recorded. Can you say something for a sec?
Hello, hello.
Yeah,
Testing
yeah.
1, 2, 3.
I've added you in here now. I don't know if because right, whatever. I'll look at it in post. You're recording this yourself, so I've got that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to worry.
No, man, everything's great. Anyway, yeah. So it's not looking good for these two. Now that I thought about it, since the day that we left the hospital, 8 days had already passed.
There's the answer.
With the amount of medicine that we carried on hand, it was obvious that sooner or later it would wind up like this. Right now, what should I do?
私7階は嫌よ。
I know what she's saying. Yeah, I know. And you don't want home either, right? Once again, the silver coupe ran on. In the end, I got off the expressway at the next exit. It wasn't like that would fix anything, but I wouldn't be able to do anything while on it. Yeah, I suppose it makes sense. Just in case there's an emergency, you'd rather be on a smaller road that you could stop off more easily.
Yeah.
Or turn around or
Also
something.
easier to get like help.
Yeah. Just look at that glorious Integra. From the bleak expressway exit, I continued driving towards an urban area. Then I searched not for a small town doctor, but a large hospital. More precisely, I was looking for the pharmacies near large hospitals. To be honest, going to a hospital may have been the best thing. If it were a normal sickness, I would have done so without any hesitation. However, we were residents of the 7th floor. The vinyl identification bracelets wrapped around our wrists were white. And also, we were people who had fled from the 7th floor. While thinking about that, I peered around while gripping the wheel. I was sure that a pharmacy near a large hospital should have most things. Found one. Standing on the corner, facing a large street, was some large university hospital. Right near it were the signs of 2 or 3 pharmacies. Just when I decided I wouldn't be able to find parking, I found an open space and quickly stopped the car. Hey, let me borrow your medicine bag. With a mystified expression, the girl handed the bag with medicine over. I took that bag of hospital-used medicine and took out only the paper explaining the medicine. With this, it should be fine. Well, I'll be back soon. Leaving her alone in the car, I ran the short distance to the pharmacy. Passing through the rather slow automatic doors, I came into the store. I headed straight for the counter. Welcome! The person who called out to me was a middle-aged man, wearing white clothes. He really fit the image of a pharmacist. So what do you think? Do you think it's going to be easy? I feel like you can't just go up with someone else's prescription and go, give me this, please.
Nah. Why would it be easy? That's not how it works.
Yeah, like, also, I don't know how it works in Japan. Don't they need to pay something for the prescription?
I don't actually know about that.
I was wondering that. Right, here we go. I need this medicine, please. Yes, please wait a moment. With that, the man took the medicine explanation paper. Medicine explanation paper.
You mean the doctor's note?
The prescription, what the fuck? Translation, fair enough. I handed over and went into the back. Most likely, instead of dispensing normal medicine, this place dispensed medicine from hospitals. When I went to an outpatient hospital before, I remembered going into a place like this just to get medicine. Obviously, it was built right next to the hospital, so I thought that most medicines would probably be gathered here. Sorry for the wait, it comes out to this much. Eventually, the man returned. In his hand were clear bags with capsules of medicine. He was carrying 2 bundles of them. With that much, it was probably alright for a while. At a glance, there was probably 1 week's worth. And then, as I was taking out my wallet... before that, may I have your prescription?
Ha!
Eh? Why is he asking that? Also, they used the correct terminology. Prescription? I'm talking about the prescription for the medicine. These are for clinical use, you see. You received one from your doctor, right? I hadn't expected this.
You hadn't expected him to do his due diligence.
Wait. What's he asking for? Is he asking for the actual prescription?
He wants a prescription. Like when you go get medicine, they ask you for your prescription so that they can check that what you're asking for is what you're entitled to.
But I thought that's what he handed. That's what that paper that describes the medicine was.
When he said paper that describes medicine, what was it exactly? I don't know.
Like I didn't. Like it was so obscure. I just like.
Was it just a note?
It might have been. I mean, now that the guy's asking for a prescription, I'm assuming it was just like a piece of paper with, I take this. And then he thought the guy was just going to give it to him. Oh yeah, I need some fucking medical grade.
Give me some morphine, please.
Okay, here you go. Wait a minute, do you have a prescription? He's like, what?
Just that fucking doctor's name written on it. It says, DR, doctor, believe me, please.
Now, this guy's like 20. Or something like, what's his excuse for not fucking knowing this? And he's a hospital patient. What the fuck? He has no excuse.
He's new to this.
I don't know. Well, no. Thinking about it calmly, these weren't over-the-counter items, and you couldn't normally buy these. Is something the matter? No. I faltered, and the man in white began to lay increasingly suspicious eyes on me. Wait, that's... Then, noticing the white bracelet wrapped around my wrist, and the words that were written on it, my name, blood type, and he was trying to read the name of the hospital.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
He's been got!
He just fucking... No, he's grabbed the fucking shit. The medicine left in the glass counter. Reflexively, I grabbed the whole pile. Hey, wait! The man behind the counter gave a great shout. I heard that voice behind me, but I was already running. It was only 5 meters from the shop exit. Unable to gain steady footing, I was stumbling, but even then I ran on in a daze. And then, coming to the rather slow automatic door as I was making to leave the store, it was then... Oh no. Ah, damn it. Suddenly, for a moment my awareness turned white. I slammed my head into the edge of the automatic door with enough force that it seemed to have cracked. How? I know he's in a panic, but... While shaking my wobbly head, I reached out with my hand and opened the automatic door that had stopped partially open. Then, when I got out of the store, I began running. I hadn't let go of the bags of medicine I had been holding. Phew. Unable to help myself, I was out of breath and I wound up raising my chin up. It was only a few tens of meters to the car, but it felt awfully long. It didn't seem like anyone was chasing after me, but I didn't even have the luxury of looking back to check. If I were caught, what would happen to her? Alone in the car, she would probably sit there forever, waiting for my return. As I thought about that for some reason, I ran in earnest. While staggering, out of breath, and thinking that this was my full strength, in spite of myself, I felt it was sad.
Whoa.
Like that was, it's like as he was like recovering, he put the foot down. The Tokyo Drift style, man. As if collapsing, I fell into the seat, panted heavily as I tore the car onto the road. This guy's got mad skills now. Clearly, more so than the other day at the pachinko parlour, I became aware of how much my strength had dropped. And then, checking the rear mirror, it looked like I really had been cut by the glass. A bit of blood was flowing from my forehead. If it's just this much, it'll likely stop soon. While driving, I lightly pressed some pocket tissue on it.
大丈夫
Yeah, I'm fine.
でも血が出てるし
Don't worry about it. It's nothing. I waved my hand to the girl, directing a worried face towards me, telling her not to worry. And then I handed her the bundle of medicine, still gripped in my left hand. Here, take your medicine. With this, I thought it would be fine for the moment. At least, it would probably hold out for a week. But, when this runs out, what would happen? It was good that today had been a success by chance, but it was clear that my own strength was declining every day. Originally, we didn't have a goal or place to go. Because we had no desires, we had no fear of losing anything. But now, things were slightly different. With the birth of purpose, the fear of loss also was born. Kobe Junction. The day cleared up, and that clear, so very high sky that was characteristic of winter spread wide. Once again, we went on the expressway. Right now, we left the Suta Junction and we're running along the Chugoku Expressway. Hey, what's the next one?
神戸ジャンクションから
Got it, the Sanyo Expressway, right? Following the girl's direction, the silver coupe ran. Coming all the way here, the signs along the way were occasionally showing the words Awajishima. Since the day we escaped from the 7th floor, the trip odometer had already passed 900 kilometers. It seemed unthinkable that we had gone so far, but our destination was just a short distance away. Eventually, a large bridge appeared before us. This is the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge. It's an amazing bridge, isn't it? The two of us couldn't help but be impressed. It was as if it ran atop the sea forever. Then, after we drove for a while, right in the middle of the bridge, here and there, cars were stopped and people could be seen. Most likely those were tourists who got out of their cars to take commemorative photos. Imitating those people, I pulled the car to a stop along the side of the road. Do you know what? I've kind of done this once. Not on the bridge though.
Done what?
Like standing near a bridge thing and getting a photo taken.
Yeah.
The one time I went to America was San Francisco. We drove over the Golden Gate Bridge,
Ah.
and there's like a little place that you can park where you can see over the bridge and the sea and stuff. And I remember getting picture taken there, and actually there was this like muscle car parked up there. I think it was maybe there for like it was advertising something. I can't remember. There's something around, but like I have a picture of myself taken in front of it, which is a very not Ashmanix type of picture. I don't usually stand in front of cars I don't own and get photos taken, but I remember it not being just a normal person's car parked up, because I wouldn't have done that with a randomer's car. I'm pretty sure it was advertising something or something. But yeah, this kind of reminds me of that a little bit, because I mean, it's a pretty impressive bridge, man. But yeah,
Fair
sorry,
enough, man.
random tangent there.
ここ駐停車禁止よ。
Well, if it's just for a bit, it'll probably be fine. Besides, from what we've seen, a number of other cars had stopped in the same way. Come now, let's go out for a bit and have a look. I'm sure it's got an amazing view.
わかった。
She still sounded a little reluctant, but she got out of the car to join me. Phew! A strong, cold wind whistled atop the bridge. It's colder than it seems, isn't it? Since we normally wouldn't come out of the car, we felt it all the more. In contrast to us, further down, there were two people that seemed to be a couple. It looked like they were taking commemorative photos and raising their voices so happily that even we could hear. Now that's made me jealous. Happy couples. Sickening. And actually, I remember another
Get
random.
jealous so easily, man. I swear down.
I'm jealous of imaginary people in a visual novel. Screw these people. This is actually interesting. Like, this reminds me of another time I stopped off at a bridge. I don't make this
Why
happen.
the fuck do you keep stopping at bridges, man?
So-
What the hell?
So, like, I used to go to work in, it was near Bristol, right?
Yeah.
I used to sometimes have to go down there. So the company I used to work for had an office around there, and whenever I had to go down, I'd go down on my own. And I was there for a couple of weeks on a training course, and then I finished the last day of the training course. I finished really early in the day, and my flight was like in the evening or something like that. So I had time to kill, and I was just like, "Is there anything?" I think I asked the instructors like any ideas of what to do, and he's like, "Oh, you could go to such and such bridge, and there's also, I don't know, there's like a boat thing, there's a historical thing." And so I ended up driving up to that bridge. It's like, I don't know if it's like, it's something special about the bridge. It's either the longest bridge or something or other in
notable.
Bristol.
Yeah. It's notable in some way.
Yeah, and it's like, where it was like around this, it's like it's in Bristol, but it's not in like a built up area. And I ended up just parking around there, walking across the bridge, and you look down, it's like super high, right? And then I carried on. I sat down. There's like grass areas and all that, and it was the summer. And like I live in Scotland. The summers here suck. We get maybe 2 days of sunshine, and nothing else. So you guys down in England who complain about the weather should try coming up here, man. You at least, I've worked in London. I've stayed in London for a few years at one point, and you get a summer of at least a few, a month odd. Not
We've been getting quite a bit of summers recently, to be fair.
Yeah, you get some decent weather down there, man. I've been able to walk around the place without having to bring a jacket with me, and that's rare for me. But yeah, the weather was great, man. And then I went. It was weird though, because I was on my own, and I don't usually. I mean, I spend most of my life on my own, but I don't usually go places on my own, like trips. This was just because I had time to kill. Usually I'll stay at home or whatever. And yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of like couples and stuff. Probably it's summertime. But I also went to visit it was a boat. I think it was a giant historic boat that they had. I can't remember what it's called, but they had like, you can go in it and walk around, and see the inside of this old like sailboat, you know, like a pirate boat style boat.
Yeah.
It was huge. So I just remember that because it was like, it's such a weird, I don't know, it sticks in my head because I was on my own and it was like a weird look at me, I have no life experience. Man, that was years ago as well. Damn, I'm getting old. But anyway, bridges, me. It's not odd you not have another bridge story.
Why do you have so many bridge stories? What the fuck?
I don't know, right? I don't do anything in my life, but I have bridge stories for some reason, or at least a couple. Do you know the Forth Bridge in Scotland?
Oh, I know that one, yeah.
The famous one, the red bridge that the trains go over, that you Scotland. I've actually walked over that. Like walked across the bridge from one side to the other. Which you can't normally do because it's a railway bridge.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
And I got to do this because like I used to work in a company that had something to do with the railway back in the day. Don't work there anymore. And one of the jobs involved us kind of working in and around the bridge. And I got to walk across it, and it's like really scary, man. See, when you look down, because you can like, when you kind of look over the side and you could just see right down to was it the Forth? Oh man, it's quite scary. It's quite high, man. And when trains go across it as well, the whole thing, it's because it's a fully metal structure. The whole thing vibrates. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that's one of the crowding moments of my life. This is how sad my life is.
Walking over the Forth Bridge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do anything impressive in my life, so it's an interesting tidbit of. I pretend that I do some interesting things, but I will stop going off on a tangent and carry on. A commemorative picture, eh? Certainly for a place like this, one was necessary. Speaking of which,
どうかした？
yeah, wait a sec.
うん。
I was certain that there had been a camera. I remember that before. The first time I'd searched through the car, I'd found a cheap disposable camera.
Why?
Why is there a
Just
camera?
yeah, why is there a camera there?
Do you know what? This is the early 2000s.
That's especially why I'm wondering why is there a camera there.
No, like, see, you know the cheap disposable ones you used to get that you'd use them once and then get the film produced and then bin it. You remember them? The wind-up ones.
What the fuck, man? Wind up?
So, like, what
No,
you
I
do
don't
is
remember this.
you take a photo, right? And then you would, there's a little knob type thing, and you'd wind it to the next, it would click into place, and it was just like move the physical film inside to the next slot or the next piece of the film. It's hard to explain, but clearly you don't know what these things are if you're just like, what the hell.
Mate.
Right, so you used to get disposable cameras. They were not too expensive, and it was like you can just take photos with them. You'd take the film out after they're finished and get them produced, and you just bin the camera itself. It was a one-use type thing. Hence, I mean,
hence disposable.
So I can see that being like you just find them lying about the fucking place because they're random disposable cameras, and it makes sense in the car. Sometimes you go travel places and you don't want to take a photo. Personally, me, I wouldn't, because I never take photos. I have a phone, and I don't even ever take photos when I'm out.
That's how it is nowadays.
Yeah, so I can see it being in the car, but there's also, I'd also be kind of curious to see what was already on that camera. What's his dad been doing, man? But yes. Here we go. At the time, from what little I saw, I thought there were a few shots left. Pulling out the camera, I checked the film. Wonderful, there are still 2 shots left. Man, now I'm feeling old. You don't know what this is, and it's like, what are these? Oh yeah, you have to be my age to know. Sorry for the wait. look, I'll take one of you. I like this music. It's kind of like romancy a bit.
It is. It's also a little bit loud in my ears.
Is
but I
it?
think that's just me. Yeah, I can lower it a bit.
It's really not loud on mine, by the way. Or maybe my audio is set to super low or something.
I think you've like fucked your problems up like really badly. I don't
Well,
know what you've done.
See, the thing is, it doesn't seem loud because on the mixer on OBS, it's not that loud. It's nowhere, like the audio level is nowhere near your level when you're talking or mine's. So, I think, I wonder if there's a volume setting for when I output to you. Wow,
Maybe.
do you know, I always have this problem with Discord as well, where it's super loud, right?
Yeah.
And I have to fiddle with my settings on my end to try and thingy it. Because your voice is... No, wait, how's my voice? In terms of loudness, is it too loud?
I wouldn't say so. It seems alright to me.
Yeah, so I think Discord does something when you pass the audio through it for games from streaming. I don't know why. It sets it super high. Because I've had that problem where I'm like, how can this game audio be this loud? It's super loud when you're streaming. I'm blaming Discord. I don't know.
Yeah, fair.
Let's see. A picture photo. Since we're here after all.
嫌よ。
I kind of liked how she said that.
Oh well.
Now, don't say that. Strike a pose or something for me. As I spoke, I readied the camera, pointing at her. Come now, try making a bit of a happier face. However, maybe because she was embarrassed, even when she finally faced this way, she had on a sulking expression. Or perhaps, for her, this was her trying her best to make a smile. As I thought about that, I made ready to shoot the camera. Excuse me, could you take a picture of us? Huh? Ah, sure. That random couple came up to us with a camera in hand. Okay, ready? Yes, please. Happily, the two hugged. Oh my god. I'm not jealous. Happily,
Fucking hell, man.
the two hugged shoulders, and the two of them smiled. I placed the two of them in the viewfinder, then hit the shutter. Oh yeah. Thank you very much. Well, in exchange, we'll take a picture of you two.
Yay.
No, I just press here on the camera, right? Faster than my reply, he took my camera. Actually, it was more like he snatched it. Most likely, he was being polite. Ignoring our hesitation, he quickly readied the camera.
I'm not even sure if that's being polite. That's ridiculously pushy.
Yeah, it feels a bit weird. Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I'm not seeing that as polite.
It's polite, yeah.
Come now, the two of you get closer together. At those words, I moved my body just a bit closer to the girl. Still looking emotionless as always, the girl next to me also moved just a hint closer. Could you please pose a bit more? Nosily, the boyfriend started adding more requests. Looking closer, the guy's girlfriend was also giving us exasperated looks.
Good. At least he's a weirdo. I think that's the point here. He's weird. We know he's being weird because it's not normal for us. And we're like, what the fuck? And even his girlfriend's like, what the fuck?
Is she exasperated for him or ours?
I think it's just like, oh, I can't believe he's doing this again. What an idiot. Why am I this guy's girlfriend?
Yeah. This picture thing reminded me of something. It's gone from my mind, but yeah, it's just like it seems so weird. Thinking there was no helping it, from behind her back to her shoulder, I slowly wrapped my arm around her. Ah, this is adorable, man. I'm liking this. Ah, it was the first time I touched her body. The feeling of the childish clothes we bought the other day and waist-length hair spread from my hands. Looking at the camera, I couldn't see the girl's expression, but maybe She might be wearing that embarrassed, pouting face that she would only show very rarely. Well then, ready? Perhaps satisfied that they had taken a decent picture, the couple returned to their car. We also turned towards our own car. A girlfriend, eh? Looks like we've been mistaken. Such
You
an
don't
ass.
say.
Such an ass to rub it in. He's loving this. Could it be that we look like it? I said it in just a bit of a joking way. For some reason it felt fun, and I just wound up continuing in that light tone. Well, no. Well, what do you think, Setsumi? Silence.
Yeah.
What's with that? You're the kid here. Even with those words, the same as always, she was facing the window. Her expression was the same, and she didn't even move to look in my direction. But that was... Her eyes weren't the ones that always looked far away. I had a feeling that it was embarrassing, and so she was turning her face away. Sumoto interchange. I like how this is like... The structure of this game, or not, the structure of the inter-chapters is like the interchanges. Looking up at that high sun, that characteristically blue sky spread on and on. From then, we went on for a bit and arrived at the Sumoto interchange. Once again, we exited and returned to the normal roads. We finally arrived, haven't we? Since the day we left the 7th floor, the car's trip odometer showed some 900 kilometers. From an unplanned start, we really did make it all the way here. Well, where should we go from here? South. South. Got it. Following the girl's direction, I set off. Of course, coming here, even I knew what the place would be. I could see a number of signs. Even I knew what the place would be?
What the place would be?
Does
As
that...
in he knew what the place...
Because he said I could see a number of signs for tourists in front of me. I feel like that should be even I knew where the place would be.
Oh, right.
It just doesn't make sense. Oh, whatever, man. It just kind of caught me off guard. I could see a number of signs for tourists in front of me. However, I followed her navigation. I had a feeling that would be wrong if I didn't, for some reason. I wanted to do it that way. Ooh.
Narcissus.
I've got a feeling this might be the final chapter.
Yeah, I had that feeling as well, yeah.
Slowly, the setting sun dyed everything orange. A deserted beach, a strong cold wind swaying a pine grove. Driving the car out onto that beach, I turned the driver's seat over to her. So, the clutch, can your feet reach it?
大丈夫
Ooh, this is a nice, look at this, car on the beach.
I know, right?
This feels 80s. You know,
You could have this with like some sort of vibe. What are those songs called? Like Vaporwave or something?
Vape, yeah, is it Vape Wave? I think it's...
Something like that, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Okay, the next, shift the gear from neutral to second. Why does it keep going straight to second? Like,
This guy doesn't know first gear.
I mean, maybe I get... Maybe because it's a powerful car? Like, with powerful cars, you would... I can
Even
imagine-
then, like, you know, use the first gear, get some traction, get going, and then get to second. Why would you skip straight to second?
I don't know, I've done it. I don't know. It feels weird to teach someone to go into second.
It's wrong.
I know.
And if I'm wrong, if there's actually a good reason for going to second, please do tell us.
I mean, there are reasons why you'd maybe want to go straight to second. You're going downhill or something like that and whatever, right? But I feel like...
He's on a beach, man. He's not downhill.
Well, I'll give you this. If you want, I don't think this is a reason for this game because he keeps doing it. But if you want to avoid wheel spin, if he's on the sand, which I think he is, then going into first gear is too much torque and you're more likely to spin. Whereas if you put it into second, you can have a weaker start, which is what I do in the snow.
I can understand that. Yeah, I can understand that since they're on the sand. But he's been doing this.
Yeah, like I can see a reason for this specific thing, but he keeps putting it into second gear. Or maybe the translation just fucked it somehow. Maybe they like Friends. Always, what was the song from Friends? Always stuck in second gear. Yeah. Let's see. Alright, fine. Then do what you want.
わかった。
The girl with her short build stretched her foot out as far as she could while gripping the wheel with a serious expression. Leaning out from the passenger seat, I spoke up. That's great. After that, slowly released the clutch. And then, looking obviously nervous, as expected, the grinding noise was phenomenal. That was not a grinding noise. Look, you need to disengage. Did you learn in a diesel, or did you learn in a petrol car?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I learned in a petrol car.
Right. If you ever, I learned in a diesel car, and see when those things, would you call it, stall? Oh my god, it gives you the fright of your life. Because, like, super powerful at low revs, right?
Yeah.
Super torquey. Oh my god, it's like, and you're just like, oh shit. Whereas my sister's car at the time, which was a petrol, you know, the engine would just cut when you stall. No problem. It wouldn't jump necessarily. It would just cut the engine. It was actually like, what do you call it? Nothing much would happen, but this, well, it might be in the specific car that I was learning on. That clutch, man, that thing would it would act like it was fighting for his life or something. It would jut like 3 times before cutting out. Oh man. I suppose it was a good reason not to stall the car. Her words said so, but of course it wasn't something one got skilled at right away. Especially when she's being taught by someone who hasn't really been driving much.
Innit?
It's a term I like to use a lot. Whenever in everything I do is the blind leading the blind.
Oh yeah, totally.
I feel like I'm the blind leading the blind in a lot of things, and this is clearly like that because this guy don't know anything about driving, man, besides the basics.
He didn't even know which petrol to get.
God, I don't. It just feels a little bit unlikely, unbelievable. You know, he went through the effort to learn to drive, so there's a high possibility he likes cars, or at least driving.
No, I think he just got it for the sake of getting a license, and then, like, you know, obviously he got hospitalized, and that probably rearranged priorities in his life.
Yeah, I suppose. But still, I feel like I don't know. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. The girl tried her best, chewing on her lip a bit in concentration. Exactly because she would normally show no emotion, her figure seemed charming to me. Hey, I'm about to start feeling sick.
わかってるわよ。
With the muffler slightly broken, the silver coupe was noisy. It sounds exactly the same as all the time, man.
Yeah, it's the same sound effect, man. They're not going to change it.
Oh, I mean, it sounds pretty good. So, on the deserted beach, it was as if a howling voice was reverberating. You know, I know that noise. My car was literally sounding like that till only recently. When the sunset slowly changed into a night sky and the faltering sea breeze completely changed to being a land breeze. At some point, the face of a large moon hung in the sky. For the most part, looks like you've gotten used to it. Along with that reply, she even shifted into third.
Oh no! They're gonna get fucking crashing, man. Anytime now they're gonna crash.
Totally used to the clutch now. She was driving around the narrow beach. With this, you can get a license without going to the training centre, no? I feel like 1 day's lessons.
I mean, your provisional license, right?
No, you can get your provisional license without needing anything. Or do you need to do stuff now just even for the provisional?
I don't know, man.
I mean, this is 2001. What I'm talking about. This is before.
2005, man.
Oh, 2005.
そうなの
Well, I don't have much credibility. It's the words of someone who just got their license after all. Exactly. By now, there was no meaning for us to get a license. Both of us knew that. We had maps, we had medicine. The muffler was a bit broken and loud, but we even had a silver coupe. Man, I do love the silver coupe, but they do mention the silver coupe quite a lot. It's like, this is the weirdest road trip visual, like road trip story ever. I do quite like it. I think I'm a sucker for road trips. Like you know how much I loved was it Final Fantasy
15?
Like we didn't even play, we marathon that game.
Yeah, over 2 days.
Yeah, but man, it was so cool when all the guys like got into the car and we were just chilling, and then I was over at yours with your brother, my brother, and we were just chilling, and it's like, this is bros chilling. This is we're chilling.
Yeah, that was
They're
the whole
chilling.
point. That's why I got you and your brother. I'm like, look, this is a road trip. Let's enjoy.
It was so good. We should do a road trip. Like, I think you've said this a few times before. We should do a road trip.
At some point, yeah.
Like, see, up in good old Scotland, there's a lot of good roads. Like up in the Highlands,
that, actually, yeah.
It might be a good shout actually to try it. Like, I was told, so when I was so like when I was being made redundant from one of my jobs a while ago, one of the guys I was talking to at work, he did suggest, like, you know, I was okay with it, you know, he was fine with it, and we were kind of joking, but he did say, like, if you've got time, and I was getting some redundancy pay, which was cool. But, like, you should do I don't know if it's something 500. It's like a 500-mile stretch around Scotland.
I know what it is. I've forgotten what it's called exactly, but my other brother has talked about that. It is this route, and it is very nice, from what I understand.
I live here, and I literally spent a year looking for a job. But the problem is, when you're looking for a job, Army, you don't feel like doing anything except looking for a job. You don't feel like going on holiday. And I'm not the type of person, and I feel like I want to change in this respect, but I don't think I'm the type of person to just go on a road trip on my own. It's not my style, but I feel like I'll be waiting if I use the excuse that, you know, I'd go with someone, I'll be waiting potentially forever to do anything, because, you know, people are busy and stuff like that, and then who'd you find? Like, it would be cool to just get in my car and go on a road trip, just get myself some munchies, get the well, the sun's never out, man, but like, just get in the car and chill on a long journey around the coasts of Scotland or whatever. And it sounds romantic and stuff, but then when you go out, when you actually do it, I don't know. I think it's more fun when you're with people, depending on the people that you're with.
Yeah, most things are.
Yeah, I do. So I talked to one guy, I remember a few years back, and he was telling me that, you know, he did this thing where, like, he used to work in he worked for a finance company or something like that, but he decided to, you know, sell everything and go on a kind of sabbatical, and he went to like Australia or something like that. He just kind of backpacked for a while, for a year, I don't know how, for a few months, and he was just like, I don't know where he went. Maybe it was Malaysia. It was all over the place, right? And he said that he remember at one point he was just kind of walking down the road, or he was walking somewhere, and he saw this like, I don't know if it's a lake or what, right? Some area of water, and it's just went, I'm just gonna jump in there and take a quick bath. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, dude, and it was like in some like really awesome, warm, cool, like ideal paradise type area. He was just describing it, and then he said he was looking at the stars one of the nights, and it's like I was like, dude, what the fuck? You went on this like proper spiritual journey, and then you came back. What the fuck? You know, he's an awesome guy. I've not heard from him for a while actually, but I remember him telling me about this stuff, and he's like, I'm like, man, that sounds really cool. That sounds very unlike me though. I would love to do that though. Just to have the comfort in myself to go out on a journey on my own. A long journey that like, where you hope to come back better. Man, I have tangented. I've gone on a big tangent in this, haven't I? Shall we get back into the game?
Yep. Yeah, for it.
But we had no time, had no future. It was exactly because we knew that I felt it was all the more trying. Well then, instead, I'll give you mine. As I spoke, I took out my own license from my pocket. This was originally the license that had lost its debut. To me, proof of the ordinary world that I should have already lost. Here in place of your diploma.
もらっても使う時間なさそうよ。
How she can't use it.
The
whole point of a license is that you're the person who's been licensed, not someone else.
Yes, but I think, you know, we're all just kind of ignoring that fact.
Alright.
I don't like it. It's symbolic. I don't. It is a bit weird, silly, but whatever. Well, don't hold back. I'm more or less the same way after all. Yeah, do you know? I feel like we're focusing a lot on Setsuma. Why can I never? Setsumi's condition, right, and on her, but this guy is the same as her. Like he has he doesn't have long to live either, and we seem to be not focusing on that too much. Maybe because we're seeing things from his point of view, but still. The 7th floor that no one had ever escaped. High ceilings, windows that could open only 15 centimeters, white vinyl bracelets. Where the third time was the last, the girl on her second, I on my first. So here, congratulations on graduating.
ありがとう。
With a small nod, the girl accepted my license. With that, she was also licensed. Not only coupes, but sedans, even convertibles. She should be able to drive anything that she liked. Surely she should be able to go to any place that she liked. After that, we drove for a bit more. We arrived at our destination, the place where daffodils could be seen. It was supposed to be a tourist spot, but perhaps this was a bit away from the area, or perhaps it was the night. No one was in sight. Within the perfect darkness of night, we were waiting for the dawn in the dim car interior.
ねえ、明かりつけないの？
Yeah, the battery seems about dead. That's right. Yeah, this is the... I have this conundrum. Do you know if you're waiting somewhere and you're like, first of all, I don't want to switch the car off because I want to keep the heating on because it's usually cold.
Yeah.
Also, if I've got lights on and stuff like that, it will eventually drain the battery. and you might not be
Yeah.
able to start the car again. And you're like, I don't want to really leave the car running because obviously that's wasting fuel. Also not good for the environment, and you're just like, but then I just keep the car on. Because, like, especially, like, when I used to go on night shift, and you're out there, because you'd be outside, and we had to go on night shift and go out to, like, site, and you'd be waiting for long periods of time, sometimes in the van or the car that you're at, before you could go to site, and, you know, I'm like, I am not switching this car off. It's cold outside. This thing is going to turn into an icicle. But I did feel bad because you are using fuel and, you know, it's not good for the environment. But I'm like, you know, if they could. I still did it. Everyone does it. It's really bad. Technically illegal now. So I think. I don't know. You can get fined for it or something. But yeah, I guess these people are conserving the battery. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be stuck there. I don't know where they are, but in the middle of the night, being stuck there and they can't start the car, don't have mobile phones. That would be good. Inside the car with even the engine off, only dim light from the dashboard faintly illuminated our profiles. In the tight space of the car, where sound and light faded away, we exchanged very few words as we waited for our sunrise. And the lump of laundry that had been tossed to the rear seat, the thick jeans, sweatshirts and towels. We took a number of those and wrapped them around our bodies in place of blankets. Aren't you cold? Well, you can come a little closer, you know. Look, don't hold back, come here. Speaking to the girl shivering from the cold in the passenger seat, I pointed to my lap. Wait. What? That's not coming a bit closer, man. That's like we're caught in a blizzard and we need to keep warm levels of closeness. I'm sure that it'd be warmer here. It's okay. I'd rather freeze to death. As the girl spoke, her body was shivering. Even inside the car, her breaths misted. It was obvious she was putting on a brave face. That too. Well, that's fine too.
That's what you just said.
Oh, nice. Then slowly, she came over to my side and hesitatingly curled in my lap. Is she a cat? Like,
I mean, sometimes she's been described as one.
it's like she's tiny and she can curl around. I've just got this weird picture in my head. See? It's a bit warmer, isn't it? Windshield was fogged, totally white from the cold outside. With that white in the dark outside, nothing could be seen outside. It was a weird sentence. But soon, the sun would rise. Surely at that time, a field of white flowers would spread out. The night was quickly fading, and the rising sun was turning the darkness from a faint purple to a pale white. Then, with the dawn, white flowers spread before our eyes. Ooh.
Pretty.
This reminds me of the flowers. Did they not have scenes with flowers as like the front garden at the mansion in Umineko?
Yeah.
In the place that had been only black up until now, white flowers appeared. The two of us couldn't help but get out of the car and gaze at the scene. Amazing. Spread before us, countless daffodils. The morning dew caught the morning sun, further enhancing the bright whiteness of the prominent flowers. One could believe that it was a carpet that stretched to the sea. And in that, we exchanged words, our breaths shining the same white. Since that day the boring television showed the flowers, we had come to this place. Even though we had no goal, we managed to come all the way here. Wow. That's a nice view.
Very nice.
These flowers, I can think of them as being the same.
厳密に言っても同じ。
I see. That's good. I didn't know the difference between varieties, but that day the television showed a scene of unbroken uniform beauty. Compared to that, the flowers before our eyes differed in size as well as how much they bloomed. But without a doubt, they were here.
綺麗。
Indeed. Vague, dull, ordinary, but always cold and merciless to everyone. Reality. In a world filled only with things that couldn't be seen, a world filled with things where even if you stretched out your hand, you couldn't touch. Right now, something that could definitely be touched was before our eyes. Some fragments of those unseen somethings were scattered about. Rain continued to fall from the solid white January sky. Since then, 2 days have passed. The whole time we were still in this place. We couldn't go.
That's not good.
Hey, are you alright?
多分
Our health had taken a turn for the worse. With her lying stretched out in the passenger seat, we barely moved the car and had remained stopped here. She was taking her medicine. Perhaps they weren't effective. Her bad state of health remained constant. However, we were people from the 7th floor. From her original condition, for a girl who was on her second time, to wind up like this wasn't too surprising. Say, do you want to go back?
あなた帰りたいの？
Yeah. Just a little bit.
7回それとも家？
That's... I didn't know. What I did know was that sooner or later this would happen. And of course, I myself was not too far from it. However, being able to only watch nearby, unable to do anything, was painful. The rain didn't seem like it wanted to stop, continuing to fall from the dark night sky. Beyond the windows of the parked car, the shining white daffodils would faintly sway. Say, these here. As I spoke, I pointed at the white flowers beyond the windshield. These were Narcissus, weren't they? The daffodils.
ナルシスがごきげんよ
Narcissus?
What?
That was a word that I remember hearing before. Until now, I had thought that it had been a familiar word, but... You mean the Narcissus where Narcissus came from?
That's what I said.
もともとが神話だからいろんな説があるんだけどね。
Is it not pronounced Narcissus? Instead of Narcis? I don't know. I know the
don't
myth.
know. I don't know, man.
And then the girl started to slowly explain as I wore an admiring expression on my face.
誰からも愛されるナルシス。妖精のエコーもそんな彼が好きな一人だったの。でもエコーは相手と同じ言葉しか話せない。
Nothing but the same words?
そう。だからナルシスに先に彼の口から愛してるって言ってもらわないと。エコーは自分の気持ちを伝えることができないの。
In a lonely and sad voice, he continued to speak. I felt that her gaze, like before, was looking at some place much farther away.
でもそんなこと絶対にありえない。どんなに夢見て憧れても決して叶うことのないエコーの願い。 ルシスに呪いをかけてしまうの。
That was the famous falling in love with his own image reflected in the pool.
そして自分の姿を見続けたナルシスはいつしか綺麗な花へと姿を変えてしまうの。それがこの花、ナルキッソスの語源よ。
When the story came to an end, she lightly took a breath. I had been listening and also felt desolate. Echo, who bore a yearning for something that could never be reached, felt as if it were just like us now. And then, what happened to Echo?
いないわ。呪いをかけるときに消えちゃったから。
Like her namesake. Disappeared? Then, wasn't there no meaning to it? To go so far as to place a curse, but to get nothing from it. In the end, it just made Narcissus unhappy also.
どうかした？
No, but you're different, aren't you?
Eh?
Well, before, didn't you ask me whether I cursed my own fate, which I couldn't do anything about?
私は諦めているから。時間が止まった私。
Numerous seasons, white overcast skies, passed without even the need to exchange words with anyone.
いつから私は一人なのだろうか。目を閉じても世界は消えない。
Even if I stopped my ears, the sound of the rain wouldn't stop. I knew that. Neither the bikini swimsuit, the emerald sea, nor the happily smiling photo. I didn't really think I was envious. In the world of my closed eyes, even without maps or a car, I could go anywhere. Even if I hadn't been warned by the large scar on my chest, even if this reality were Narcissus and I were Echo.
決して憧れない。呪わない。
Even though I was supposed to have decided that, my heart right now swayed. The time that was supposed to have stopped tried to move. Even though if it did so now, very soon it would end.
傷は深ければ深いほどそれに比例して治るのも時間がかかるらしい。それならば長い時間をかけてゆっくり離れてしまうともう取り返しがつかないのだろうか。じゃあ22年も生きた私はどうなるのだろう。
Hey, you alright? Before dawn, stretching my hand out to the passenger seat, I stroked her back. Since then, another 2 days had passed. The medicine that had been losing effectiveness had run out, but it was better than doing nothing. Thinking that, I reached for the car keys, planning on going to a pharmacy. Then, as I was about to switch on the
い
ignition,
いから
a weak voice, she stopped me. But at this rate,
ど
you're...
うせもう聞かない。
That may be so, but certainly it was like she said, most likely with the same medicine, there wouldn't be any effect. But even knowing that, it was painful for me to sit still, unable to do anything. Then, well, let's go somewhere else.
別の場所。
Yeah, somewhere other than this lonely place. Okay, let's decide on our next destination. Come on, anything will do. Be the navigator again. I was speaking in a bright tone of voice that even I thought was laughable. Facing that profile looking far away, I continued to speak cheerfully, alone. I knew that doing this was useless. At most, how 2 days before the end would turn to 3, even I knew it was on that level. Come on, say something. There's some place, isn't there?
別に
I know. Don't you like cars? You want to go on the expressway again?
別に
Then, well, let's go buy some new clothes. You want them, don't you? Said to me.
別に
Not particularly. You... With those final words, once again the girl looked out the window. Not looking at the narcissus that spread before her, but like before, looking off somewhere far away. That pouting, embarrassed face she would sometimes show. She wouldn't show it to me anymore. Why are you like that? Always with just not particularly. Just being a little bit forward facing. What's wrong with that? Before I knew it, I raised my voice. For some reason, I was sad. Even though I was supposed to be unable to have any real sense of reality, my heart ached. The interior of the car returned to silence. Outside of the window were the flowers of January, daffodils, narcissus. In the dark before dawn, their whiteness gently swayed. Further than the flowers, much further, the girl continued gazing. Only the faint sounds of waves held sway in this place.
前向きになんてなれるわけないじゃないの
Huh? Inside the dark car, suddenly she spoke up.
憧れて懸命になって頑張っていつか報われるのならいいけどでも叶わなかった時にはどうすればいいのその時に無理だったねって笑って言えるほど強くないわよ
The girl who had eyes that always looked far away was looking straight at me from the passenger seat.
私にできることは最初から諦めて何も望まずにいてやっぱり無理だったと冷めた目で自分を見ることしかできないのよ
You're... For the first time, the girl cried. Even though she almost never showed any emotion, her small shoulders shook and her tears flowed.
あの時頑張っていたらもしかしたらって自分にとっての最後の言い訳を取っておくしかないのよ最初から無理だと分かっているんだからそれぐらいいいじゃないの
I looked at the dark sky beyond the windshield. The sky before the dawn even showed the face of the moon. I could only hear the occasional sound of waves, the girl's sobbing voice. She might feel that she was the same as Echo, unable to return anything but the same words. From herself, she could say nothing, hope for nothing, see nothing, could do nothing but give up. So for this girl, refusing both the 7th floor and home was perhaps her first and last act of defiance.
That wasn't the end.
What is this construction?
Shiraishi construction.
Shall we go on? So See where this goes. I can't imagine what the clear sea of January, cold wind that pierced the skin. Occasionally, a strong gust would sway the pine grove and the sound of waves calmly reverberated. Well, there's nothing besides this here. I handed over the towel with Shiraisi construction printed on it. It was what we had used to wipe our bodies down with before. Hey, don't make such a face.
わかった。
Seeming slightly dissatisfied, the girl took the towel. Suddenly saying she wanted a swimsuit, what could I do? In this season, at this place, on top of that, she said she wanted a bikini. Doing what I could, what came out of the car when I searched was that white towel that had been in the pile of lunch. I shouldn't laugh, but... Are they trying to use that white towel to make a bikini?
Well, let's see.
And then, waiting for a while, in that skirt she liked, with the towel from just before wrapped around her chest, the girl appeared.
どう？
Well, even
Yep.
if you ask me that, yeah.
変じゃない。
Well, probably. Ah, it's perfectly fine. Totally not strange at all. Alright. Then, the girl slowly began walking out to the water's edge. Waves gathered and retreated. Long hair fluttered in the cold sea breeze. From the sky, as if delivering the finishing blow, snow lightly fell. Within all that, the girl held both her shoes in both hands. Happily, as if she were splashing around, walking barefoot at the edge of the water.
ねえ。それっぽく。
Maybe so. In the cold of winter, our breaths whitely misted. Then I took out the camera that I had taken from the car earlier. That cheap-looking disposable camera had only one more shot on it. Here, I'll take pictures of you. I'm sure it'd be more like it that way. Oh, okay. As I spoke, I made a show of preparing the camera. Come now, don't be so reserved, okay? The water's edge, the girl seen through the viewfinder. Maybe she was a bit nervous, or perhaps embarrassed. Her face was more complicated than usual. So, could you give me a better pose?
でも、
No buts. Look, there's no gravure model that would stand like a stake.
わかった。
Even while she seemed a little bit embarrassed, in her own way she tried her best. Shyly putting her hand on her waist, she threw her free hand out wide. That hand stretched out towards the clear winter sky, as if it were about to grasp something, or trying to grab something. Stretched straight towards the sky with the emerald green sea to her back. Well then, one last thing. Smile. Smile for me, Setsumi.
何よ。年下のくせに。
Saying that, for the first time she smiled for me. The girl wearing the skirt she liked, with the white bikini. Smiled for the last shot in the disposable camera. Smiled with the emerald green sea to her back. It was as if a gravure model were smiling at me. Great! Then next, how about a pose with a bit more movement?
Wait, I thought they ran out of film.
Yeah, me too. Happily, like she were having fun, she splashed through the water. The film had already been used up in the camera, but I still continued to take shots. Oh, you're getting caught up in this, aren't you?
そんなことないわよ。
Cheerfully we talked. As if making another attack, the snow fell even harder. And in that, through the viewfinder of the camera that had already run out of film, the girl showed a happy face. Even as her small body was thrown about by the wind, she directed her newly recalled smile towards me.
それじゃあ
It's already that time. With that answer, like before, the girl started walking towards the sea.
そういえば免許証
That's fine. Take it as a memento.
わかった
While nodding, she put it in her pocket. It was a license that I had once handed to her. Really, it was something that should have already lost its debut. Then the girl took off that white vinyl bracelet wrapped around her wrist and offered it to me. Are you giving this to me?
あげる
I see. Then I'll take it as a memento myself. In the same way, I accepted the bracelet and placed it in my pocket. Then, once again, the girl began walking towards the sea. Facing her back, I threw out my final words. Hey, can I ask you just one last question? Do you, right now, want me to pull you back? Or instead, you want me to give a push from behind? While the waves splashed at her feet, the girl stopped in place. Her back remained facing me after I asked the question. The strong wind turned the crests of the waves into spray that struck her. Before long, she turned around and...
どっちだろうねよくわからないね
Saying that, just one more time, she smiled for me. While being struck by the spray from the waves, even as tears welled up, he faced me with a smile. Before, those feet had stopped at the water's edge, but this time, they didn't stop. That was why I thought that was her answer.
それじゃあさよなら
And so, our journey of 960 kilometers ended. To me, it was 15 days' time. To her, it was the end of a 22-year journey. Not the 7th floor, nor home. Of her own will, she avoided them. In the year 2005, she was one of the estimated 35,000 people who committed suicide. Blood type O, name Setsumi, 22 years old. Female. Vinyl identification bracelet. White. This was everything about the girl. But I knew. In reality, she liked bikini swimsuits, knew more about the roads than a navigation system, and loved cars. She even had a license. She was always without expression, would only rarely face you. But once in a while, she would even make this embarrassed, pouting face. The emerald sea to her back, and as if dancing happily like a gravure model, she smiled. And despite that, on this cheap disposable camera, only a single picture remained of her smile. But even so, even with just one picture, it was a proof of ourselves that we left behind. Holy shit, man.
Is that it? There's no more text.
I don't know, but oh my god. I was actually... Woof. Trying not to tear up there, man.
Yeah, I was wondering, there's a second story to this,
眩し
isn't
かっ
there?
た日の
Yes.
そんな冬の日のこと
Ah, generic.
Oh,
faceless
he has no...
prick.
I just realised he has...
Yeah.
Oh, come on, guys. Look at the car in the background. That looked like a proper couple there.
I mean, that was the picture they took.
Yeah. This music, man. This is like, I don't know why. Do you know what? I'm gonna bring back the avatars. I don't know why I thought, you know, I knew what was going to happen, and I knew that she was not going to make it. Like, they kind of made this fairly obvious from the start. I felt both of them were going to not make it.
He's not as far along as she is in his condition.
Yeah, but I didn't think it would end like that, and it would end in suicide. I don't know why I didn't think that. I just thought that it would be the condition that would get her rather than her make her do that.
Yeah, they did sort of hint at it a few times, but yeah.
What do you think? What did you think of this first episode 1 of Narcissus? Or Narcissu, sorry.
Hard to say. It's got that sort of vibe about it that I like, but I'm not exactly all that enthralled with how this plot exactly went. It just seems like they sort of bumbled around from place to place.
I mean, I feel like that. I don't know. I feel like that was the point. They were just no, like, so they've both got these terminal conditions, right? They've both been isolated in a sense as well by being stuck in this hospital. She spent most of her life, or a large chunk of her life, just accepting her fate and not allowing herself to want anything because, you know, she doesn't want to be jealous and suffer from I don't know, like the regret of not being able to do these things. And this was a last minute type thing. Like, he just made a decision and went, let's do this. And it makes sense that they would bumble about. They had no, it was them fighting against this situation that they can't escape, and them giving a middle finger to everything. Go, fuck, you know, we're going to do something, even if it's like, it's not, it might not be the right choice, but it's not the choice that we've been stuck with. The two, you know, either die in the seventh floor or die at home. We're going to choose our own path. And I think that, like, the original plan was just for them to drive and then that's it. Like, they had no plan after that. And like, her, like, I don't condone, you know, what she did, but her doing that was her
choice.
Her going on her own thing. Man, I don't know why I wasn't expecting this to be this sad. I feel kind of, that hit me in the feels, man.
That's unfortunate. Can you cancel out of this picture? like, do you click and then it goes? Yeah. Fade to white. I love a good fade to white.
See what's it gonna? Or do I have to click again for it to, or is it gonna show the credits? Oh no, I had to click again. Wait, can I? Oh well, I suppose we can play the second one next time. Yeah. Yeah, that was Narcissu the first episode. That was something. I'm quite happy that we played this, watched this, read this. I like, just like Katawa Shoujo, you know, this was different. Though Katawa Shoujo goes for a more, it's not as grim, but it is different, and this was different. It was quite grim, and it didn't have, you don't see the characters and all that as well when they're talking. It was just like, there's a bit more low-key, whereas most other visual novels you only see the character sprites when they're talking, and it's a bit more active, whereas this felt more laid back, quiet, I suppose grim, because you don't see the characters when they're talking and stuff like that.
This one is very contemplative.
Yeah, that's a good way of describing it, and I totally love the car, the silver coupe, the road trip, the road trip to end all road trips. Damn, man. No, I enjoyed that, and I think this is a good episode for me to add my little animation thing.
Yeah. Definitely put that at the end there and see how it goes.
Yeah, I think it feels right for me to put it on this episode. I might not. I mean, man, if I knew about the flowers, I might put it in the little animation. But like, I mean, I did know about it. Yeah, I mean, you'll see the video. I mean, I know you watch the videos, Cook, so when I put them up, so like you'll see it when I put it up. But a little ode, a little tribute to the game and to the Silver Coupe, the main man of the show.
Still going strong.
Yeah, that, like, this has been interesting. I've enjoyed this. Hopefully, I'll carry on with the second one when you're free. I definitely want to do the second episode. I don't know if the second one is a prequel or a sequel. I don't know how it works out, but
might be a separate story entirely. Don't know.
Yeah, it might be. But no, this has been interesting. Not what I expected, but that was Narcissu, episode 1, or the end of episode 1. For now, I'm Ash Mannix.
And I'm Cookcell.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.